Please watch this. What I am about to say and show you will be disturbing. Howdy everyone, my name is Konstantin and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. As usual, no propaganda, BS or lies here, only truth, common sense and logic. And some emotions too, because I am a human being after all. And yes, today there will be plenty of videos and pictures. Before I start today's stream, I'd like to give you a disclaimer. I don't usually do that, but I feel like today it's required. I fully realized that the biggest victims of the war that Russia started waging on Ukraine are Ukrainian children. Many died, many were killed, many lost parents, many fled with their parents, leaving their homes and country behind. The children didn't do anything wrong. It's just one day missiles started flying from the neighboring country and blowing up everything. I fully understand that, and as a Russian citizen, I am taking a partial responsibility for that. I also want you to understand that by attacking Ukraine, Russia shot itself on both feet. Basically, what Putin and his clique did, they killed Russia's future. They killed everything about Russia. The country I knew and I liked and I loved, it doesn't exist anymore. Current leadership, although I can't call it leadership. I don't even know what is a good word in English that describes them. Perhaps you can help me write what you'd call Putin and his gang in the comments below. Anyway, they've started transforming Russia into an ugly, scary hybrid of old USSR and a phantasmagory of some kind. The process started, but it's far from being finished. I don't want to go into the details of that transformation. We talk about it every day. If you follow my channel, you know, you've learned quite a bit. I just want to tell you a short summary. Basically, the transformation can be described in one sentence. You belong to the state now. The state has been becoming the reason for citizens to live. Well, that's at least what state is selling to the citizens. I am the state, not we are the people. Where the people aren't tolerated by the state any longer. It's dangerous and it needs to be eradicated. So everyone who somehow stands up and says we're the people in Russia becomes enemy of the state. Russian propaganda is the foundation of this transformation. Trust me, even 15 years ago, we had it completely different in Russia. And propaganda slowly but meticulously boiling the minds of Russians, just like it was frog. Slowly but surely, it was putting them in today's situation, in today's state. The worst thing in my mind is that what they started doing is they started working on children. Yes, they started taking our children and conditioning them at school. Actually, in the kindergartens, even before schools. Boiling the frog strategy, of course. I became a parent at a relatively young age. I'm 47 now and I have 5 children. The oldest is 25 and the youngest is 7. If you follow my channel, sometimes you see my kids in the live streams and the videos. My oldest child, Sky, is 25. Combined, I have plenty of experience parenting. But with Michael, I saw something I had not been prepared to. Before I start my story, I'd like to tell you that this story I'm reliving for the second time in my life, because my story did not start 2 years ago. My story started way back in my childhood. the story of indoctrination, of course. Well, before I jump into the story, let me take a sip of tea. And of course, it's English breakfast at Uzbekistan's midnight. That's what I usually drink. And I also would like to ask you a favor. Please help my channel by 1, liking this video, 2, subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so, 3, making reposts of this in your social media accounts. But what's most important is please comment. Write if you agree or disagree with me, please. And if you have nothing to say, just write a couple lines of encouragement. I really like reading comments like that. That just is really good for having my message spread. And of course, you can help out Buy Me a Coffee or tea at buymeacoffee.com, or support the channel by becoming a sponsor or a patron at patreon.com. Either way would be fantastic. Not necessarily, but much greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I'm going to put links down below. It's actually painful remembering those memories that jump into my head. Not easy. Not easy. My personal story, or actually my family story, all started in the spring of, I'm gonna talk about my kids, and I'm gonna talk about me later. All started in spring of 2022. We all know what happened in February, and literally a couple of months after, Michael came back from kindergarten, and he started singing something, and he never sings. He's just like me. Singing is not about, he plays hockey, he swims good. He, plays chess, but he does not sing. And he was singing some kind of military march. Oh, da 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 da. I was shocked. I said, Michael, where'd you learn that? He goes, at kindergarten today. They took us for a special lesson. They brought it into a gym. They showed us some kind of a movie, and then they were making us sing this song. I liked it. I said, did you understand what it... No, I didn't understand anything. But I liked it. And that was the first time the bell started ringing in my head. I said, whoa. Then, a few months later, the patriotism lessons started happening. Once a week, 1 hour, mandatory. Slowly at first, they introduced the lessons on September 1st, 2022. Dasha came back from school, and she said they had it. And I was really afraid for Dasha, but she said, hey, look, it doesn't affect me much. I understand what's going on. I'm there for, as a body in the class to sit, Then, bit by bit, they started to turn the temperature up. In Russia, we say they started tightening the screws. They started slowly, again, boiling the frog. And then they started making sure that everyone would show up for these patriotic lessons, just to show you, to give you an idea of how those people work. They started calling parents, teachers started calling parents and asking where the child was, those who were skipping the lessons. And then they started writing to the police, and then police got involved, and they started talking to parents. I don't really know what they do to parents whose kids skip the classes deliberately, but it's something tells me it's scary. Okay. So I think that both children and their parents are trying to adapt somehow, even those who disagree. So again, they started tightening the screws step by step, small step by step. And let me show you, enough talking, let me show you what's happening all over Russia now, because one picture is better than 1,000 words, and videos, they are even better than pictures. Folks, what do you see here? Let's take another look. Who do you see here? Do you see warmongering, bloodthirsty vampires in this video right now on the screen? I don't. I see the teenagers, regular teenagers, 13, 12, 13, 14-year-olds. They're mingling. They're at school. They're learning. They socializing. They're with the friends. A boy wears Z t-shirt. I want to ask, I wish I could ask him if he even knows what Z stands for. Really, Z, what really stands for? What is its meaning? And what actions are being covered by this letter Z? I guarantee you, he does not know. He doesn't understand. At his early age, he's just, I think all he wants to do is hang out with friends, play with friends. Jake, my another son, is just turned 18, and he's still a teenager. He's just a couple years older than these kids. And I know teenagers quite well. This kid put on this ZT short only because he was told to do so by, I don't know, his teachers, principal. But you know what? They start doing it in schools all over Russia, in every single province. There are people in Moscow, in the Kremlin, in the government, who are controlling this part of government's life, working with children, okay? And they're making it happen. You know, if that kid wears the Z t-shirt, the black t-shirt with letter Z, for a long time, it will wear on him, and he will become a Z person. Who organized this particular event right here? And they just, obviously, they want to introduce kids to idea that the war is life now. So this is a movement, a special movement. It's called, it was created at Putin's order, and it's called Movement of the First. Okay, it's present everywhere in all schools. It's modern-day pioneers. If you know what pioneers were, it was a youth organization when I was growing up in the USSR. And you kind of had to join to become a pioneer. And there were certain events. And the new pioneers have Movement of the First. These kids are called the First. And then this is one of their events. Now let's move on. They do it at school, and then they show it in the news on Russian TV. Now, what the heck is this? What the heck is this? Folks, if you just check this one more time. That's not the right video. These kids are, you know, this Michael's age. Look. This boy must be, I don't know, 5 years old. They're teaching him how to assemble a gun. Oh, I heard that music so well. I know, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I did that as a child. I heard that music and I played that music. You know, just looking at the screen right now, it's painful. It brings memories from my childhood that I'm not proud about, okay? But let's move on. I have plenty more to show you. How about this? This is a regular high school gym where teenagers play basketball. I loved to play basketball. In a gym just like that. We could play there for hours. What the heck is this? Let's move on. This young kids, they look like second graders, third graders perhaps, they say for peace, for Russia, for president. And for in Russia is za. And za, they're replacing Russian letter Z for the English Z. And you know what? We all know what Z stands for in Russia these days. They making kids sing patriotic songs. What you're seeing is one of the events right now that happened in one of Russia's schools. Or event like this. This exact stuff happened to me when I was a child. Exact stuff. They dressed us up in the military uniforms, or actually they gave us pieces of military uniforms, and we stood just like that. It's just we weren't taking pictures. This is another event. This is a very long filming, and it's filmed covertly because I don't think that the filming was allowed. I don't really know what this, where this school is. The sign behind ladies' back says "За победу," to the victory. And again, we see letter Z on display. And then she's basically, it's not indoctrination anymore, it's propaganda. It's like adult stuff, and you see the older kids. She's saying things like, folks, honestly, there are 2 minutes to play, and then that lady speaks. I don't know who she is and what she does, but, I'm really ashamed to translate her words into English because they're shameful. This stuff is not good either. Look. ЧВК Wagner. Do you remember ЧВК Wagner? Oh, we all do, don't we? ЧВК Wagner, the private army that Yevgeny Prigozhin, the criminal, convicted felon, he was convicted multiple times. Then somehow he became one of Putin's friends. So he created his private army, and throughout 2022 and first half of 2023, he was recruiting the convicts from Russian prisons heavily. The worse crime committed, the better was for ЧВК Wagner. They needed real bad criminals like murderers, rapists, cannibals, child molesters. Scum of the scum that this earth has ever seen was in ЧВК Wagner. And guess what they did in Russian schools? They started inviting ЧВК Wagner to give patriotic lessons. Now, I want you to take a good look at this picture. Do you notice anything strange? Well, the whole thing is strange, but do you see that those war heroes, that's how they were called, I guess, then, do you see them wearing masks? Do you see them being afraid of showing their faces to the school children that they came to indoctrinate? Same here. Oh, we have such heroes. But they are afraid to take their masks off. To me, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I don't really know. I tried to understand what teachers were thinking, but I fail. I don't understand. It's like we're different species I am a different species from those children. One of those folks right there, sitting in the mask at the table, is convicted murderer. He was arrested. Well, there was a murder happened. Investigation was conducted. A suspect was found. He was arrested, charged. He went through trial. There was proof that he murdered a person, and he went to prison. He was serving a very long sentence. And then Yevgeny Prigozhin came to his prison and recruited the guy. And he was released. He was sent to kill Ukrainians into Ukraine. And then he came back as a war hero, and he was invited to speak in front of school children. Now, folks, that is not Russia that I loved, that I wanted to live in. Every time I looked, I was preparing for the stream, and obviously I was looking through different pictures, right? By the way, there are tons of pictures like that. Tons. And I mean hundreds and hundreds. Because kids take pictures from the classes, parents take pictures, and then most teachers take pictures too. And then they upload them to different social networks. News people come in and make news and things like that. So they're very proud of that. But every time I looked at every single picture, I imagined Michael sitting there. And those ЧВК Wagner people would be telling Michael something. And you know what? Every time I imagine that I would go crazy. In my heart, there would be a storm. Okay? Oh. Now, I want to check something interesting. This kid's large flag of Russia, military uniform, saluting. Who are you saluting, boy? Do you even understand what salute means? Anyway, I saw that before. When I started Soviet school, grade number 1, at the very beginning, we had events. We had different events. One of the events was called Смотр строя и песни. If you happen to live in Russia a long time ago, 40 years ago, you probably remember that stuff from school. Смотр строя и песни. Basically, they would assign each class some kind of a military specialization, and we would have to march and sing. Grade 1, I kid you not. I was in a class, we were assigned to be young aviators, protecting our motherland from different enemies. At grade 1, I didn't really understand who the enemies were and what was going on, but I still remember the song. And if you want, I can sing it to you. I still remember, grade 1. Мы рождены, чтоб сказку сделать былью, преодолеть пространство и простор. Нам разум дал стальные руки крылья, а вместо сердца пламенный мотор. Все выше и выше и выше стремим мы полет наших птиц. И в каждом пропеллере дышит спокойствие наших границ. Границ. Imagine that, first grade. Well, we did it for 3 years in a row. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. 40 years later, I still remember this darn thing. All right, this is another picture that caught my eye. This is obviously a high school, and there are 2 high school students. They're not old enough to be students, university students. Right on the TV, it says, "Children in the life of Vladimir Putin, showing care and attention." Folks, this is I can't stop laughing when I look at this thing, because I also saw that when I was a kid. I also saw the same phrase. It was not the TV on the wall. It was a black board, and we had chalk, white chalk, and we would write on the board with the pieces of chalk. And it was the same phrase, only we would have to replace Putin with Lenin. Vladimir Lenin caring about children. Vladimir Lenin, the biggest friend of children. So now it's Vladimir Putin. This is how they boil the frog. And this is how they tighten in the screws. They taking it a step further every time, okay? And now they are into Vladimir Putin, how he is, how he cares, and puts lots of attention into children in his life, okay? Now, which children they mean, like children in general or his own children? He has 2 daughters, and he left their mother. They divorced. So what happened to daughters? We don't really know. But that's what kids are studying right now. And they go further. You see that the adults come in and they give more information. They give, it says, political initiatives for children. Political initiatives for children. Political initiatives for children. So this is, they've gotten pretty far indoctrinating Russian kids. Boy, I have heard that music before. I thought that it was over. Back in the USSR, you see what these folks, the adults, are doing right now. That's nothing new. They're not reinventing the wheel. They're just taking old blueprints and dusting them off, and they applying them to real life. Because what happens in those pictures, what is portrayed in those pictures, I've seen everything. Just not the TVs, flat screen TVs, just blackboards. It means that the state is very serious, because it takes lots of resources, and it does take lots of money and lots of resources to start indoctrinating children. It means that Russian state, Putin and his friends, are playing long term. Otherwise, they would not need children. It is clear to me that old indoctrination techniques are back. The indoctrination doctrine is back. People, unfortunately, are back. I don't know where they got those people, and people cooperating with the state. I don't understand why. The teachers, perhaps they're so afraid to lose their jobs. I think, to me, it's much better to lose my job than to lose my soul, okay? Nothing good happened in the USSR. We were all indoctrinated. Yes, we were they started indoctrinating us in kindergarten. In the last year of kindergarten, they would start explaining about Lenin and things like that. And then first grade, indoctrination full blown. Okay, I remember the events. I remember the songs. I remember politinformation, politinformaция. I don't know, any one of you remembers perhaps that? Politinformaция was about half an hour every single week, where kids would be bringing political information from all over the world that they found interesting, and would sharing with the class. And I did that quite often. I was kind of forced by my teacher, because he regarded me highly, said, "You could do a great job." I was flattered. I remember I gathered material about the United States, about homeless, and there was plenty. All you have to do is just open any Soviet newspaper, and it consisted of 2 things. First was all the praising of the Soviet system and the results, great results that the Soviet state achieves all the time. And then the second part would be bashing America. So much homeless, so many homeless, so much unemployment. People living standard dropping, the American dollar crashing and so forth. So I would just open a newspaper, and then I would briefly read an article, and I'd just, talk about it. I remember when, until age 10, I thought that Americans are very bad. I had not met one single American, but I thought they were incredibly bad. They were incredibly warmongering, bloodthirsty. Somehow they wanted to kill us all. And I was thinking, well, I haven't done anything wrong to this bad Americans. Why do they want to kill me? Why do they want to kill me? Okay. But then I turned 10 and I started asking questions. I guess I was born as a person with critical thinking at age 10. I remember I started asking questions, and no one could answer my questions. And first, my parents, and then my teachers. And my teachers started suggesting I would not ask questions like that at school. And, I never thought after that Americans were bad. Russian system, it's back. And it's all-inclusive. It's including Russian children as well. I think that Ukrainian children are having it so much worse than the Russian children, okay? They are living in the country that is ridden by war. But Ukrainian children at the same time, in my mind, have bright future. And the Russian children, they are facing an ugly, strong machine, and they don't even understand the strength and the power of this machine. And kind of, if they would be living in Russia for a long time, they kind of have no chance. They don't stand a chance. Russian children, their future is being stolen from them right now. And this has been my message. Thank you so very much, folks, for coming. It's fantastic to see everyone. I'd like to invite everyone to jump into live stream chat. Please let me know what you think of my message today. And the live stream chat is on. Again, thank you for coming. Let me just rearrange things a little bit so it's easier for me to read your messages. Folks, in case you're here for the first time, we have fantastic community here inside Russia. Lots of people who come every day, and this is a virtual community of friends. And we have the best moderation team you can ever find on the internet. Lorna, Mammy K, Harry Potnin, Bob S., Amir Fazad, and a new member of moderation team, Dirk. Fantastic to see you, folks. Thank you so much. Treat the mods nice. Please. They're keeping this chat clean, and they're enforcing the rules that we have to make it a pleasant community. If you want me to read your comment or see it much easier, please put it in all caps and put inside Russia after @ sign, so it kind of jumps right into my face. Otherwise, there's a good chance I might miss your message because there are so many. Thank you so much. See how Harry Potterman highlighted the message in orange? Thank you, Harry. Good to see you. Leitmotif for me. The usual suspects. Airborne Snail. Number 1 gets to the father without the son. Kyle E. Samsa. Paula W. Just Terry. Leitmotif. Jodes Reims. John. Baker Stock. Magnus. Scott. Maltidaki. KG1. Holy be Jesus. I like that. Lisa, Bob, Angela, VJ John, Scott Nesbitt. Fantastic to see everyone. Let's jump into the first question, if there's any. Aranka, scary. It's very disturbing. It's disturbing. I think that Russian state is very smart. People, I just don't understand how so many people can be so evil. Why are they doing it? Why are the school teachers doing it? Why are the people at the Ministry of Education doing it? They must understand exactly what they're doing, yet they're doing it. I don't know. You know, there's a book of Revelations in the Bible. You all know that, not probably have heard of it. And basically it says that the devil will come to earth and the devil will appear as a world leader. Well, the thing is, people will have to make a choice to be on the side of the light or on the side of the darkness. And the mark of the beast will be 666 put on a body someplace, okay? I don't think you need a mark. I don't think 666 is all you have to do is just collaborate. This is your 666, okay? So I look at these people and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you must understand. You can't be so stupid. The only explanation I can think of is, oh, we'll lose our jobs. Okay, well, do something else. Yes, lose your job, but don't lose your soul. But hey, it's just me mumbling. Roy Cousins, howdy. English breakfast for you. Andrew Hodson, next time I will drink rooibos tea. Aaron Sonics, good afternoon to New York City. Terry, thank you so much. You know what's really crazy about me? I feel the pain, and I think it shows, but I feel it. Other people talk about this stuff, and they don't care much. But this stuff, these things, they kind of get through me, you know, and I cannot just not feel anything. I can't turn my feelings off. Maltidaki, what you told us reminds me of my childhood in East Germany. Yes, I understand. Crusader Damien, howdy friend. Quick question. Since 2022, the Kremlin has stated they are fighting NATO in Ukraine. But as soon as we say we're sending troops, Russia poops their pants. Well, I tell you more. And I've said it many times, and I probably even said it to you, but I'll say it again. You see, it's not what you say, it's what you do. It's always, you have to look for real stuff, not just blah, blah, blah talk, but what they do. And this is what happened. About a year and a half ago, so back in 2022, I don't remember when, but it was in 2022. There was an accident at the border between Ukraine and Poland, and a rocket, a missile, fell down onto Polish territory about 3 or 4 kilometers from the border with Ukraine, and it killed a Polish farmer. And the first thought that everyone had, wow, that's the Russian rocket. And it killed a Polish man. And it destroyed like half of his farm. And then, for the first time, NATO got together and they started discussing the situation. And you should have seen what happened in Russia. Panic. No one, not Z patriots, no one in the Kremlin, no Ministry of Defense, none of them were ready. They didn't have a playbook to go by. Okay? So they started freaking out, and everyone came forward and said, "It's not us. Oh, it's not us. It's not us." They were desperate, saying, "It's not us. What are you doing? It's not us. It's Ukrainian rocket." Then there was an investigation done, and it turned out to be Ukrainian rocket. I think that's what I heard. A rocket that was intercepting a Russian rocket. Okay, but holy moly, Crusader Damien, let me tell you, they pooped their pants big time. When NATO started discussing Article 5, to enact Article 5, holy moly. And that's how they really feel. Because, well, they can't do anything with the Ukrainian army. Imagine if NATO sends troops from all over, and weapons, advanced weapons. How many hours, perhaps minutes, would Russian army stand? Not too many. They have nuclear warheads. That's true, But army-wise, I don't think they stand a chance. So thank you for kind of bringing it up one more time. Samsa, when I was a child, 9 and 11 years old, at school we had costume party. Me and my friend dressed as Hitler. Teacher didn't like it at all. We were in trouble. Well, that's funny. You didn't really mean, you meant well, I'm pretty sure. So that I don't have a problem with that. Sam K, howdy friend, you are a legend, thank you. Have you tried strawberry and raspberry twining tea? No, I have not. I have not even seen it. I have not even heard about it. I've tried Darjeeling. I've tried Earl Grey, obviously. Some kind of like Prince Charles or something like that tea. And perhaps a couple other teas. But my most favorite is English breakfast. It's strong, and I drink the strongest. And I also like Earl Grey. See, I usually drink strong tea when I work, when I occupied with something, and then when I relax, Earl Grey. Things like that. Paul Wright, thank you for posting this topic. My niece in Mati, she's only 7, but has already had 3 years of indoctrination. So sad. Paul, I feel for you. I feel for you so bad. My son, every time I look at him, every time he goes to Uzbek school, every single morning, I wake up and I realize, I usually wake up by the time he's gone. I go like this. Because Uzbek schools are almost free from indoctrination. It's normal level, not a big deal. He's just being a first grader. He does not have to wear uniforms. He does not have to do the events about military, learn, study, watch, listen, nothing. The events that he has to do is March 8th. All boys are making presents to the girls and, memorizing poetry, and they're gonna do a little performance for the girls coming up in a couple of days. That's what he has to do. Okay, well, doesn't have to, but that's when everyone participates in that. And I am so happy. It's one of the happiest moments of me living in Uzbekistan. And I really feel bad for your niece. Michael was there a couple years ago. He was 5. He was in kindergarten, and I was really, really, really afraid of what's gonna. Well, I was taking actions, my friends, and thank you because you have helped me a lot. Magda Bayo, howdy. Russia needs soldiers. That's why. They want to denazify Germany, and in 5 years there will be no America, too, they said today. Well, said who? Dmitry Medvedev. In general, I agree with you. They need soldiers. That's why the boys, many pictures, oh, you will grow up, you will become soldiers, this and that. You know, I've watched other videos when I was picking them for this live stream. So you're absolutely right. And the USSR also needed soldiers. We were told many times, when you grow up, your highest honor will be to give your life to the motherland. And then we didn't question that. Of course, back then we were feeling at the age of 10 that it would be an honor, yes. But then when I grew up and I started asking myself one simple question, what kind of honor would that be? Okay? Who would benefit? The Politburo? Those folks, the police, you know, those folks, the KGB that was trying to, you know, put my grandfather to prison for simply sewing a suit to someone. I would give my life for them. Oh, none at school liked my questions, let me tell you. I was considered as a troublemaker back then. Thank goodness the Soviet Union fell apart. So, Magda, thank you so very much. KG1, reminiscent of Hitler Youth Movement with a Z replacing swastika. Nazis also enlisted civilian criminals and prison inmates. History repeating. KG1 had said, what can I say? It's said. You seen everything yourself. I don't have to comment. I don't have to say anything. You know, it's right in front of your eyes. Those who have eyes will see. Those who have ears will hear. J Spike, howdy. This is so personal for you. Well, you know, why do you suppose they have the children wear gas masks? I wore gas mask. I had to. I had to have good grade for that, okay? They gave us basic military training. No, I shouldn't say that. Not basic military knowledge, okay? What to do in case a nuclear strike is executed. What to do if there's a chemical attack. What to do if there's a lot of smoke around. What to do if you see that a lot of people are injured. How would you... And then they taught us that when I was 13, 14, 15, you know. I remember one day there was a special class, Auberge. They gave us, they brought us full chemical suits. And for entire day, a guy was teaching us how to get into a suit and get out of a suit, not to get much of chemical poisoning, contamination, and to get as little radiation contamination as possible. I remember we would make a mistake. We would touch the outer because we had to be real careful with that. I wish I had pictures. We didn't have cameras back then. It was scary, okay? You look like a monster in this huge rubber suit, okay, with a mask, and there's a huge hood over it. And you had to be real careful because you had to touch as little of that stuff as possible because it was supposed to be contaminated on the outside. And every time we would make a mistake, and I mean, that was the first time for us, the guy would scream at us, and he was crazy. He would scream like, "You're dead! You are dead! You understand it? You're dead!" You know, and for an entire day, we had that exercise. So I think that the same thing they're doing right now. They're wearing gas masks. You know, they're going to be wearing special suits and all kinds of stuff. The government is at full work. RW, fantastic to see you. Thanks for your email. When I was a child, I used to listen to Radio Moscow. They read letters from the old friend John Doe talking about how terrible the country was. Yeah, I heard that too. I saw through it, but it's so much harder if you're living in the midst of it. Um, it is much harder. But you know what? Look at me. I was born and raised right in the middle of that, pardon my language, crap. I was able somehow to become a person who thinks straight, who asks questions, and who thinks critically. So it's possible. Hardens your spirit, so to speak, you know. Florin, thank you so much from Romania. It's fantastic to see you, and thanks for your support. Sam K, thanks for sponsoring 5 people. Fantastic. Magda, sorry, they meant no Armenia. That's what they said. Who? Russians said no Armenia? Ah, okay. I think I heard that some nor Georgia, nor Armenia, and things like that. So I'll make a stream on that. Yes. They're showing finally are showing their true colors. That's what that's what I'm saying. Crusader Damien, can you please explain why Russia is called the motherland and also called the fatherland? Can't be both, can it? Thank you. All right, the motherland. It's usually called the motherland because Russia is always portrayed as a woman. A woman who defends children, who defends citizens, who defends family. Okay, it's the woman. That's why it's called the motherland. That's that's the best explanation I can give you. I've never heard it called fatherland. Родина мать зовет. You know, on all posters in the war, World War II, there was a woman with a very tough look on her face displayed, and there was always a line. The motherland woman is calling you. Something like that. I've never heard that Russia has ever been called the fatherland. Atomic Electron, thank you so much. Howdy. Cowboy Country in Kingman, Arizona. Yes, I remember that. Just popping in to support. Thank you so much. Wishing you the best. Happiness, health, love, and peace. God bless. You're always welcome here. Pray madness ends with no more death and misery. I'm praying for that. I'm going to pray for that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Raise a child in the ways of the Lord is our hope. Jeffrey S. Yes, yes, and yes. Agreed. I don't think I missed anyone. So getting back to the message. Germany is a fatherland. That I don't know, Alvin. I don't know why. Perhaps the fellow Germans, Dirk, if you could explain us Multidaki, who is here from Germany today. Our kids have patriotism here. Patriotism, right? Elena, God will stop all this. Well, you know what? I actually liked American patriotism a lot. Not just kids have it in America, but everyone. You know, adults also. American patriotism is based on something real, something tangible, something that you can smell, touch, see. Okay, it's you look around and you see so many people. Everyone is proud of the country that they're living on. It's proud of the ways that country is built by. Is proud of the Constitution, the rights, the freedoms. I would love to have patriotism like that. But then, if Vladimir Putin comes out and addresses the nation saying, "Oh, we achieved such great progress in eradicating poverty," and then so many Russians sitting in poverty and they're thinking, "What the fudge?" What is this? What kind of patriotism is that? So it's completely different concepts. They're trying to make Russians patriotic because they want them to love the state, to defend the state, to die for the state, okay? And American patriotism is so different. Joseph, thank you so much. No message, but this message is heard and much greatly appreciated. Thank you. Top of the hour to everyone. We don't have Nightbot again. I don't want to make any promises, but that situation is annoying me because our Nightbot has departed somehow. I don't know why, and I can't fix it, so we won't make it along today. VJ John, thank you for a good question. How long can Russia continue this war? It comes at a huge cost in dollars and people. Well, Russia is out of money, officially out of money. In 2 months, we will start seeing something that we have not seen a long time. All that scary pictures I painted in the past, they will start happening very soon. Now, that's not going to be the end of the world for Russia. You got to understand it for the state. You got to understand that. Don't think that Russia will fall apart because it's out of money. No, they will start making more money. They will start raising taxes. They will start printing more money. They will start raising duty taxes, a different kind of taxes, increase license fees. They will perhaps start forcing people to buy war bonds, things like that. So they will be grabbing people by their throats, okay? So that people will breathe less and less, okay? They're going to be stealing everything that they could get their hands on. That will come at the cost of people getting poorer and poorer and poorer, okay? So living standard of Russians is going to be dropping. And that's it. Russia will continue living, but people will become extremely poor. If now many people are poor, in the future, they don't know what poverty is. That's different kind of poverty is awaiting them. I think that it might even be worse than the USSR in some areas of life, but we'll see about that. So answering your question, let's consider World War II. The situation was incredibly bad for the people, but the military-industrial complex was working. People were working for free. They slept right inside the factories, okay? But they kept on working. The limits to this madness are actually quite far. So if nothing happens, if everything goes as it's been going, Russia can fight the war for quite some time, okay? The thing is, things happen, and different elites might form different alliances, and different interests might be changed by other interests and things like that. So it's a very dynamic system. And I don't think in reality this war will be going on for such a long time. I think it'll end rather sooner than later, and the change will come from the inside Russia. But not because Russia is going to be so poor. Russians going to be so poor. Things like unrest in Ufa, that could be a catalyst. Murder of Navalny could be a catalyst. We don't know. Anyway, you can count on one thing. I'm sitting here and monitoring everything, and I'm going to be giving you breaking news that worthy mentioning, worthy notifying you. So please keep on tuning in. Carson Larrymore, thank you so much. I grew up in the 70s in the USA. Every morning we recited the Pledge of Allegiance Well, I think my son Jake recited the Pledge of Allegiance. The best part is the ending with liberty and justice for all. I remember that. I'm very aware. Very, very, very aware of that, and that's the beauty of the United States. Why do you think so many people from all over the world want to come to the USA? Is it just for the money? No. A lot for the money. But, let's say many Germans come to the United States. Germans are not really poor people. Their living standard is very high in Germany. But still, some come to the United States. Why? That's because of that. The ending, with liberty and justice for all, for opportunities, for the way of living and things like that. So I, I myself enjoyed it so much, But anyway, thank you, Carlson. Did I mention Mami when I was talking about the moderators? Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potman, Amir Fazat, and Dirk. I don't remember saying Mommy. Lorna. Did I mention Mommy? Of course. She's the consigliere. I hope I did. Many Russian and Chinese wealthy live and are educated in the USA. Excellent point. Why? They don't come to the USA for money. They come to the USA because life there is good, because everyone is equal, because there's justice for all and all these things. For the things they couldn't build in their countries, but are built in the USA. Edgecombe, Maine, howdy. ACL video, fantastic to see you. ACI video. Edgecombe, Maine. Say hello to the great state of Maine from me, please. Stefan Dooling, thank you so much. Back in World War II, people fought for a good cause. The cognitive dissonance nowadays cannot disturb human brains for long. Plus, children are smart. Thank you. Another point. Another good point. Another question I ask myself is, how these people who go to war, how do they justify being there? Killing Ukrainians. For what? They know very well what Ukraine is about. They see that there are no Nazis in Ukraine, They're standing on the ground with their both feet. How do they justify? Perhaps they do drugs. Perhaps they drink to a state where they cannot understand anything. They cannot, get upset. I don't know, but that's a good question. I wish I could see. God forbid I ever go there, but I wish I could see what the situation is at the front lines on the Russian side. Because on the Ukrainian side, it's pretty obvious. If you ask any man, why you're here, they say, defend my land, defend my country, my family, my woman, my children, my parents. But if Russian asked, what would they answer, SVR, it depends. Living standards in Germany are quite poor compared to other developed countries. Many left like me. My friend, you live, you learn. This is the first time I'm hearing that living standards in Germany are not quite good as in other developed countries. What other countries? Like Greece, Portugal, Spain, I don't know, England? Guy, my partner panics when we don't get in touch to know I'm okay. So I can't imagine the wives of mobilized not knowing where if they are alive. And that can happen for months and months and months, because that's another stream. How Russian military treats its men. It's just insane. Crusader Damien, full of questions. Excellent questions today. Thank you. The true hardship the people will face is the betrayal of their morals and spirituality. Once they see the true horror that was done in their name. Thank you. You know what? You always manage to come up with the best stuff. You are so right. You took it off my tongue. You are so right. When they wake up and we will see what was done in their name, what was done with their support, with their silence, I think a lot of people are going to go crazy. At least normal people. Earl Lucky, thank you so much. I remember seeing Russian children in military uniform carrying Russian weapon. There was a dummy one. I see what you're talking about. What a shame that they're teaching these children. Well, check this out. Yeah, scenes from my childhood. I had to do that, and I had to meet certain time, so to make it in a certain time. AK-47 to take it apart, to put it back together, and then the best out of us would do it with their, closed eyes. They would be put a piece of paper around their eyes, and then they would do it just by touching the gun. Jeffrey S., the German Americans I know are very smart, but maybe too smart. Oh, Jeffrey. Aiko and howdy. Bob Brennan, thank you so much for supporting. Thank you. No message, but there's always a strong message for you. From you. Thank you. Caesars, sorry to be late. I remember Indoctrination from my school. I'm pretty sure you remember that well because, hey, we have partially the same DNA. My country was stamping its DNA all over Europe, Eastern Europe. I know. In the 80s, fortunately, many of us had amazing parents that worked hard on mitigating the damage. Thank you. It's good to hear. And you know what? I'm going to be wrapping up now and praying. But before, I got to tell you that when the USSR collapsed, it's like a veil came off people's eyes, many people's eyes. And we started seeing, and we were asking ourselves, how could we do that? How could we? I was a kid back then, but a lot of adults started asking, like, what the hell were we doing? And there was a universal feeling in the air that, oh, thank God it ended. Thank God the commies are gone. Thank God this will never happen again. We will never see that happening again. 30 years later, it's happening again. I don't know what to tell you. J Spike, in those weapon clips, the first one had some World War II era weapons. Maybe they're trying to win them over with nostalgia of Great Patriotic War. That too, but the first clip, this one, it was like a showcase of different weapons from different eras. It happened in Stavropolsky province, I believe. They definitely have AK-47s there. I think there's a K-76 if I'm not mistaken. These are definitely World War II. older weapons, older guns. This one is a newer with a green space for bullets. How do you call it? I think this gun is called Dashika, if I'm not mistaken. Not a huge expert on guns, but I still remember them from school because we had to learn. Anyway, friends, thank you so very much for coming. I'm gonna wrap it up. I think of today's stream all the time. Think of today's topic. I think of every time I see my son every morning, going to school, coming back from school, and every time I praise Lord, saying thank you so much for letting us out of there, So thank you. Friends, I would like to invite everyone to pray with me. Thank you. Let's, I think there's a new prayer request. Hang on 1 second, please. Okay. Friends, thank you. Jeffrey S., I remember of your daughter. We'll be including her in the prayer today. Thank you I will say hello to Mom. Thank you, and would like to look at you at the super chats. I missed. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeffrey, thank you for letting me know. Bob Brennan, J Spike, Caesars, Earl Lucky, Crusader Damien, Stefan, Carlson Larrymore, Joseph Di Giorgio, thank you. Jeffrey, Atomic Electron, Crusader Damien, Magda Bio, Florin, RW, J Spike, KG1, Magda, Paul Wright, Samsa Solomon, Crusader Damien, Sam K. This is what YouTube is telling me. That's all I have here. Anyway, thank you so much. Please pray with me today. If you're religious, if you're not, pray anyway, and send good wishes and good vibes, good energy, whatever you want to call it, to people. And I'd like to mention children today, specifically to pray for children. Thank you. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with the people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Please give us wisdom to raise our children that way that when they grow up, they will make this world a better place, will never engage in any wars. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please help Ukraine. Stop the bloodshed. People are so tired. They need peace. They need good, normal life back. They need safety. They need to just live normal human life again. Please help the country, help the people. answer everyone's prayer in Ukraine and make everyone's wish come true. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of those who have started the war, who have a capability to finish the war. Please make them finish, make them to make decision to stop this war, so the bloodshed ends. Please help my country. Assemble your strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael in shining armor, and send this army of yours like a heavenly avalanche down to this earth to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country. We know them by their faces, by their names. Have angels help good people run Russia to make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is traveling, send them safe travels. Everyone who is in dire straits and trouble, send safety. And everyone who's helping Ukrainians, opening the doors, hearts, wallets, please, God bless them. Dear Lord, please help single mothers who are struggling, trying to make ends meet. Please send them help. Help all those who are sick, addicted, hungry, homeless, jobless, depressed, betrayed, feeling terrible about themselves, thinking life is over, struggling with their faith, struggling with their addictions. Please fill hearts of people in need with your love, so they feel you, they feel your help, they feel you standing behind them and helping them. They feel warm, they won't feel lonely anymore. They feel with you, and that would change their lives. Please help everyone in need. Thank you so much for letting us get together here every single day and pray together. Dear Lord, thank you for everyone who's praying along with me or simply watching us pray. Please answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. I would like to mention a few people who need your help. They are Gemma, Jeffrey S. daughter, Kyle E.'s wife, Rhonda McGillis, Terry Carter's former in-laws and fiancé, Morgan L., and Larson daughter Hannah, Dory, Electron family, Kurt, Deborah, Bogey Berger and Sons, John, Buzz Salmon, Leslie Fleming's daughter, Taylor, Wayne, fighting 2 cancers, Scan family members and grandson, Dave, Don, Marie Doran, Tracy, Jay Spike, Warren Spees, Redmond Half-Breed, Frank, Jim, Paula W., Karen's mom Dorothy, Tracy, Tim Mayers, Larry B., Colleen's dad, Dominic, Natalia Blaga, Eric Quinn, Gabing with Gary, Jason Carney, Olga, Alexei, Sandra Dunn, Susie Mailer, Julia Haney, Darla, Liz Dumbrell, White Lightning, George Ruberty, Kelena, Natasha, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Grace Philosophy, Mr. Dean Spooner and his church, Randolph, Lisa Cumrian, Liz, Karen, Lori Miles' husband, Stefan, Meta Spencer, Alvin, and his sister, John Lee McMahon, Pamela J. Leif, Jen, Lars, and David Porter, his family, and everyone who is in Chernovtsi, Ukraine. Dear Lord, I specifically would like to mention all children who are in trouble, who have been displaced, taken away from their families from Ukraine. Please do not leave them. Help them. Send your angels to help them. Reunite with their families. Send them back home. I would like to ask you to help all children who are being indoctrinated against their will, against their knowledge in Russia and in other countries where it's happening. Please help them to have chance in the lives. Please divert forces of evil and shine your heavenly light upon them. Thank you very much, dear Lord. Jesus Christ, thank you. Amen. Friends, thank you so much for coming, for watching, for talking to me, for sending messages, supporting the channel. You're absolutely awesome and you rock. Fantastic. You're making my life so much better. You're making my days so much brighter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mods, thanks for another great day. Thank you. Before I finish and sign off, I'd like to ask everyone to say out loud with me the usual, as loud as you can, Carthago delende est.